The first few phrases of one of the most popular prayers are as follows. Quote, God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Hello, my name is Gladys Bell, and I'm a volunteer with the Motherless Daughters Ministry. Thank you for allowing me to be part of your day. Every week, we invite you for a short few minutes of conversation to support motherless daughters by sharing information, our stories, and encouragement. If this message is helpful to you, we'd like to ask that you share it with other motherless daughters. Give us a thumbs up, a review, and subscribe to our channel. The authorship of the prayer is attributed to Reinhold Niebuhr in the 1930s. It is said that it is a part of a longer version of a prayer for a closing section of a sermon. It became popular and highly recognized when adopted as a keystone for the Alcoholics Anonymous 12-step program in 1941. This prayer has become increasingly popular as a staple in the arenas of support and recovery. The grief journey and the impact of loss involve a vast number of questions, emotions, and processes. Regardless of the type of loss, the occurrence is largely out of our control. We can't control death. We can't control how others treat us or their physical, mental, or emotional health. Acceptance doesn't mean that you like the change, nor does it mean that you will not make efforts to influence or minimize the effect of the change in your life. It only means that you have acknowledged the reality and changed the way you responded to it. Right there is the first step to accepting what we cannot change. It is imperative that we internalize those things that we can control, although it is a very small parcel of a vast property. Herein is where we find more peace of mind, comfort, and accomplishment. This prayer names three elements that we need to master change: serenity, courage, and wisdom. I'd like to submit to you today that the greatest of these is wisdom. While serenity is certainly helpful, alone it will not eliminate the impact of the changes made by loss. Courage has been described as a mental muscle that must be developed gradually over time, starting with very small victories. But the key to actually making a change begins with knowing what is within your control. So, at the root of the matter is knowing what is and is not within our control. Once we understand what we can control, we can identify a course of action that might actually make a difference. Trying to change something that is completely beyond our control is um, like hitting a brick wall. Trying to change something beyond our control increases frustration and stress and leaves us void of the very character that we most want to exhibit. Let's look at control. The Merriam-Webster Dictionary defines control as exercising restraint or directing influence over something. What are the things that we can control? We can control our reactions. We can control the boundaries around those actions. We can control the effort that's put in and who you spend your time with. That's just to name a few. Whether we use it or not, we as human beings were created with the ability to make a choice. Among the things within our control, it can only be accomplished if we choose to do so. Here is where the prayer comes in because sometimes we need help to make the choice. Life's experiences sometimes bind us into a state where we feel we don't have a choice. We were trained to make certain responses without thinking about it. Healing from the impact of loss involves opening wounds to reveal truths that have been buried under lies, mistreatment, neglect, lack of knowledge, years of pain and or fear, to name a few. The Motherless Daughters Ministry has 25 years of experience with those wounds. John Kabat-Zinn, an American professor at the University of Massachusetts Medical School, is quoted as saying, "You can't stop the waves, but you can learn how to surf," unquote. So accepting what we cannot change involves choosing to learn something new. At Motherless Daughters Ministry, we like to say people find us when it's time. Time to learn something new, time to make a change, time to do something different. We can learn to redirect or reframe our thinking or our attitude about the reality. Trying to change something that is beyond our ability, again, is like trying to repeatedly walk into a brick wall. There is very little that is as painful as loss. Regardless of the cause, it changes us forever. Whether your memories are happy or not, there is always an impact that requires healing. It requires intentional action, which is always easier when you have someone traveling with you. Personally, I can testify that the Word of God is true, which lets me know that He will never leave or forsake me and always be with me. And you can read some of those assurances in Deuteronomy 31 and 8, Isaiah 41 and 10, Matthew 28 and 20, and Hebrews 13 and 5. I don't have to carry these burdens alone. He has always provided what I like to call my inner circle, angels who have supported me on the journey. A big part of that circle of support is the Motherless Daughters Ministry community, where I find others who understand and can identify with some of my experiences. There's no magic formula or perfect pathway to healing from loss. It is a customized journey, but it is possible, and the Motherless Daughters Ministry is here to help. Know this, that you are not alone.